beautiful friends and fellow word lovers. Welcome back to Pocket of Poetry. My name is Olivia, and today's video is going to be another book review. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I know this is a very popular YA fantasy book, and I wanted to give you guys my thoughts on this book after going into the entire series completely blind. If you had asked me like a month ago if I ever thought I was going to read this book or this series, I would have told you absolutely not. I had no interest in it whatsoever. I've never really been a YA fantasy person, or at least not recently in my life. I haven't really been super drawn to those stories, but in this scenario, it was kind of like a Bookstagram made me do it scenario, because I've been reading a lot of Leigh Bardugo's books, which are fantastic. I finished Six of Crows and currently reading Crooked Kingdom, and they're just masterpieces and so great, and honestly left me hungry for more fantasy because I just wanted to kind of get lost in a magical world and just engross myself in a fun story, and I was just still hungry for that after reading Six of Crows. So on Bookstagram, I kept seeing all these posts and like things about the Shadowhunter Chronicles, and I knew nothing about the Shadowhunter Chronicles, you guys. Like I knew nothing about it. I knew, like, I had heard of City of Bones before, but I didn't even know what it was about. I thought it was like some kind of like mythology book or like something to do with like ancient civilizations, because it was called City of Bones. To be honest, I still don't really know why it's called that. Like, I don't really get what the relevance of the title is to the story, but anyway. Hey guys, so it's me editing. I realized after I filmed this video, I actually do know why they called it City of Bones. It's because when she goes to the like whole place where the Silent Brothers are, their whole like building is built out of bones. It's still, I don't know, it wasn't that memorable of a part in the story apparently because I forgot about it, but yes, I do remember now why it was called City of Bones. I did not know what the story was actually about. So then I did a little bit of research. I did a little bit more looking into the Shadowhunter Chronicles and all the different series that exist within that universe. I'm most interested in the Infernal Devices series, the one that's like a prequel to the original series. But I couldn't get that one at my library. There was like super long wait times. And when I looked up City of Bones, there was no wait time. So I was like, I guess this is what I'm reading. So I ended up reading it, and I wanted to give you guys my thoughts on it. So honestly, I've just been obsessed with YA fantasy lately. I know I already said that, but it's just, I don't know, there's something about getting drawn into this magical world with these like dumb teenage characters that just kind of just like is the perfect escapism. So I'm gonna go start off by giving you guys things I liked about this book. I loved the world building, and I really liked the writing. I think Cassandra Clare is a really good writer. She personally really like writers who use a ton of description, because I really like being able to picture in my mind what is happening. So I love that about her writing. I thought she did a really good job describing things. I personally love writing like that. Some people don't, but I think it's great. I liked the world building. I thought the magic systems were really fun. How they can like draw the runes, and that the runes have different magical powers. I thought that was a really cool magic system. And of course, you know, there's fairies and vampires and all sorts of magical creatures in this world, so it's bound to be a fun time. And it's set in like New York City in the early 2000s. This book came out in 2007, by the way, so it definitely isn't the most, you know, up-to-date socially and culturally book, which is fine. I was reading this book, and I got to a part in the book where it says that Clary, the main character, released a breath that she didn't know she was holding, and I was like, oh, makes sense where that came from now, because it's like a joke in the book community. I feel like oh, so-and-so released a breath they didn't know they were holding. It's like a thing that every YA book has, or has some variation of. But I read that sentence and I was like, wow, this is like, I feel like this is the OG. This is like where it all began. It was like very quirky, but quirky in a good way. Like, I liked how it mixed elements of modern day New York City with like ancient magic. I thought that was really fun. I thought it was fun how they had like the glamours that you would see one thing, and then if you focused, you could tell what was actually there. To be perfectly honest, I was like so invested in this book. I thought it was so much fun. At the very end, there's a lot of plot twists that happen, and I was just like I wasn't The thing is, I wasn't really surprised by them because I kind of saw them coming, but at the same time, I was surprised by them, if that makes any sense. I was like, my jaw was still just dropped, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so intense. Because it just was. Like, it was just so intense and fun to read, even though it wasn't necessarily like I didn't see the plot twists coming, but they were just fun nonetheless. I don't know if that makes any sense. As far as the characters go, I didn't hate any of the characters, but I didn't necessarily love them either. I don't know. Clary is definitely has a lot of the typical YA protagonist character traits that we all love to make fun of because they're in so many different books. But for the most part, Clary actually didn't bother me too much. I liked that she was spunky without being too arrogant, and I liked that she had a little bit of like healthy fear, but she was also not like so constantly doubting herself. It was just refreshing, I guess, after reading the Grisha trilogy, because a lot of things about that trilogy really bothered me, and especially Alina's character, and just how much time was spent with her internal dialogue and how much time was spent on her just like doubting everything about her life constantly. And I liked that Clary wasn't like that. She was spunky, she seemed to know what she wanted, which I did enjoy. I thought Jace's character was a lot of fun to read. Honestly, he was just super entertaining, and obviously he was greatly over dramatized, and you know, he's a 16-year-old boy, and 16-year-old boys generally aren't that charming and that just, I don't know, dangerous and cool. He was definitely a very cool character though, and I did think he was a lot of fun to read. And for the most part, their dynamic with each other was really good. I really liked their dynamic. I thought it was fun to read. So then next up, I'm going to talk about things I didn't really like about this book. Obviously, we have the problematic YA tropes, mainly the girl rivalry in this book. Really bugged me because there was like no point to it. I like didn't understand why she hated Isabel so much. I thought Isabel was a perfectly fine character. Like she was a little arrogant and cocky, but I don't know, she was nice. Like, she never did anything mean to Clary. She never said anything mean to Clary. Like, I feel like there was absolutely no reason for them to hate each other. There was absolutely no reason for that rivalry to even exist. And then I really didn't like the way that she treats her friend Simon in this book at all. Like, Simon was a cute character. I thought he was nice, but I did not like the way, just the dynamic between the two of them was just really sad, because I feel like he was just constantly trying to get her to notice him, and she just never was. And like multiple times throughout the book, it literally says, oh, I forgot Simon existed. I forgot Simon was there. Like, she was always forgetting about him, and I just felt really bad for him because he obviously would have done anything for her, but she was very oblivious to that, and it was really stupid how... The other thing I didn't like was just how oblivious she was. I'm like, seriously, girl, like, you really can't see that he likes you? Like, I just thought that was just a little bit overdone. But of course, she had to be perfectly oblivious to any guy ever being attracted to her at all, or else she just wouldn't be not like other girls enough. But yeah, it was just funny. But I really did not like, it really bugged me, the rivalry between her and Isabel, because just every time she was like, oh my gosh, I just wanted to claw her face off. I'm like, why though? Like, she's not doing anything. Like, yeah, she's flirting with your friend, but you know what? You've kind of been treating that friend like dirt, so you don't really have a right to be mad about that. So anyways, I didn't like that whole aspect of the book, or that aspect of her character. But overall, I thought she was an okay character. There were some eye roll worthy things about her for sure, but for the most part, I thought she was fine. Okay, so the next part is going to contain a major spoiler, so if you don't want that, you could just skip ahead. But the whole incest thing, like, I know, I already knew that was going to be an element to this book before I knew anything else about this book, because I had seen, like, comments about it on other YouTube videos. So I knew that, like, somehow they were going to end up being siblings. I didn't know how, but, like, yeah. So, or at least I guessed that they were. So I honestly just find that whole thing super weird. I don't understand why that existed. I don't know. I just don't get it. But then again, I haven't read the other books, so I feel like by reading the other books, I'll probably get a bigger picture. And I kind of have a feeling or a thought that they're going to end up not actually being siblings later on. And I really hope that happens, because it's very obvious that she and Jace have the most chemistry out of everyone. And it's obvious that, like, they're going to be together. Or, I mean, I don't know for sure, but my current thought on it is that they're probably going to end up not actually being siblings. But I just thought that the whole plot line of them actually ending up being siblings was just really weird. Especially just because of how much chemistry they had. Like, if it had just been like, I don't know. Anyway, I can't be too mad about it though, because the plot was very thick there at the end, and I really liked all the plot twists. I had a lot of fun. I was just enjoying myself in general. But I'm holding out hope that they end up actually not being siblings because, yeah, they have way too much chemistry, honestly, TBH. But yeah, overall, the book was just a lot of fun. And those are my thoughts. I just kind of wanted to give you guys what I liked, what I didn't like, just kind of my thoughts and impressions while reading. My rating for City of Bones is going to have to be 3.5 stars. I almost did 4, but I went with 3.5 just because of all of the tropey stuff that I didn't like and some of the slightly more cringeworthy moments. But overall, though, I thought it was really good. I thought it was really well written, and I really I don't know, I definitely want to read more of the Shadowhunter Chronicles now. So I'll definitely be reading the rest of the books in this series, and I also want to read the books in the Infernal Devices series because they sound so good. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoyed hearing me talk about this book. If this is a book that you have read before or a book that you like, hopefully you had fun listening to my thoughts on it. But yeah, anyway, I hope everyone is having an amazing day. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe if you feel like it. But until then, I will see you in the next video.